There is a lease modification. Upat man gani siya ka subtopic. So, state sa lang nato daan ang mga concept before tamo proceed sa mga illustration. So, IFRS 16 paragraph 44 provides that the lease shall account for the lease modification as a separate lease under the following. Letter A, the modification increases the scope of the lease by adding the right to use an additional underlying asset. B, the rental for the lease modification increases by an amount commensurate with the increase. Anyway. So, lease modification decrease in scope. So, IFRS 16 paragraph 46 states that a gain or loss should be recognized as a result of the partial termination of the lease. So, kasabot naman siguro taaning. If the decrease in carrying amount of lease liability is higher than the decrease in carrying amount of right of use asset, the difference is termination gain. If the decrease in carrying amount of right of use asset is higher than the decrease in carrying amount of lease liability, the difference is at termination loss. So, gain and loss. So, lease modification, mo ni siya ang iyahang subtopic. So, modification as separate lease, extension of lease term, and then decrease in scope, change in rental lastly. Mag-una ta sa lease modification as separate lease. Mo ni siya ang illustration. On January 1, 2020, an entity entered into a lease agreement with the following information. So, floor space, 3,000 square meters. So, annual rental payable at the end of each year is 100,000. Implicit rate in the lease is 10%. Ang lease term niya is 8 years. Present value of an ordinary annuity of 1 at 10% for 8 periods is 5.3349. So, on January 1, 2022, the entity and the lessor agreed to amend the original terms of the lease with the following information. Additional floor space, 4,500 square meters. So, nag-add siya floor space. Annual rental payable at the end of each year is 200,000. Implicit rate in the lease is 8%. Present value of an ordinary annuity of 1 at 8% for 8 periods is 4.6229. The increase in the rental for the additional 4,500 square meters is equivalent to the current market rate. So, this is an important information kasi the condition to identify that it is a separate lease. So, i-state ko na diha to identify that it is a separate lease. So, journal entry for original lease. Right of use asset 533,490. Debit lease liability is 533,490. Credit, yun sa siya pagkuha ang 100,000 nga annual rental multiply siya sa present value of an ordinary annuity of 1 at 8% for 8 periods katong 5.3349. So, interest expense ang 533,490 multiply siya sa 10%. So, debit 53,349,000. Lease liability 46,651 debit, and then cash 100,000. So, depreciation niya 66,686 debit, and then accumulated depreciation is 66,686. Giunsa siya pagkuha 533,490 divided by 8 years. Am I right? So, On January 1, 2022, the entity shall account for the modification as a separate lease. So, the entity shall recognize the right of use asset and lease liability for the additional 4,500 square meter lease space on January 1, 2022. No adjustment is made to the 3,000 square meter lease because of the modification. So, journal entry for 2022, new separate lease. So, right of use asset, 924,580. This ang niya gikuha sa present value of the additional lease payment on January 1, 2020, 200,000 times multiplied by 4.6229, which is the present value of one ordinary annuity of 1 at 8% for 6 periods. So, mahal na siya. Interest expense, 924,580 multiplied by 8%. So, debit, 73,966. Lease liability, 156,034. Debit, and then cash, 200,000. Depreciation, 154,997 lang. Debit. Accumulate depreciation, 154,097. Then credit. And then, giunsa ni siya pagkuha, gi-divide ang 924,580 katong iyahang present value sa 6 years ang iyahang remaining lease term.